everyone, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today I've got a fun trophy to share with you. I thought this would be good to add into the kind of makes for men or my men's series, because it was kind of more around the Father's Day, number one dad, that kind of thing. But I was also thinking that this would work really well. Maybe you do like any kind of family games night. These could be the trophies. You can fill them with treats, which is what I'll be doing with this one. They make lovely table favors, but also it could be maybe like a wine glass. If you take these pieces off here, you start to get a different look. And if you remember my mug that I did with the display box, and I've got a teacup as well on the channel, it's that kind of portion. I've just played around a little bit. You don't need this section, you can just stick that to this one. And I'm sure some of you might already be seeing something else that could be done with this as well. It's pretty straightforward to make. I've deconstructed everything and I talk you through all of the steps. So let's get started. So first of all, to make the top part, you want a piece of 8.5 by 6. Along the 8.5 side, you're going to score at every 1 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then along the 6-inch side, you're going to score at 1 and 2. Then if you fold that top kind of score line there over, so you've got the 1/2 inch tab here on the left hand side, pop it back in. And I'm going to use a different stylus here because this is just, so I can get a bit more precision with this one. Just put a little notch at 1 inch, 3 inches, 5 and 7. So when I open that up, we've got these little markers here. I've got that one there, just ignore, but you'll see they're every other. And that's where we're going to do our little triangle shapes. Like I said, if you've made the cauldron, the orb, things like that, it's the same process. I've already done my base here, but I'm going to do it again on this piece so you can see what I did. So this is a piece of 10.5 by 5.5. Along the 10.5 side, you want to score at 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10. And then pop it along the 5.5 side and you want to score at 1, 2 and 3. Pop it back along the long side again with the 1/2 inch tab on your right hand side, and you're going to score at all of these measurements I give you now. You're scoring just to the first score line. So 3/4 of an inch, 1 3/4, 3 1/4, 4 1/4, 5 3/4, 6 3/4, 8 1/4 and 9 1/4. And those are all just the first score line. You can kind of see when we cut these pieces out, we've just made these 4 tabs with those score lines there. And then this one, again, I've already made up. This attaches to the stand or the base. And this is 4.5 by 4. Along the 4.5 side, you're going to score at 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then along the 4-inch side, you're going to score at 1 and 3. So I think that's everything you need for now. So you want to get all of the score lines, just fold and burnish those. Okay, so we'll go back to this piece. So using your ruler and your stylus, where you've got the little notches, we need to connect to the, so easier to explain if I hold it up. So where we've got a little notch there, we're going to do a score line up to that corner and then up to that corner. So within each square where you've got the little marker, we need to form a triangle. You can see there the shape we've got, so just do that on the other 2. Then we need to remove the squares below them. So I'm removing the score line. These bottom squares will then become the base and how we attach it to the rest, to the other pieces. So you can see that I'm just removing the square. Now this last one, just remove all of that. So the little 1/2 inch corner piece as well. Okay, so you've got something like that. You'll now be able to fold so that they are valley folds on those triangular pieces. So just kind of push them across there. Okay, like so. I'm then just going to cut a little triangle across there, cut a little wedge off of there and also off of there. It's just going to make it easy when we connect, but now you just want those little tabs like so. And you'll see when it all comes together, like I said at the beginning, it looks just like the bottom of the mug. that I made. So because I'm using the mirrored card, it's going to be better to use a double-sided tape or a red tape. So I've got some here. It's a 1/2 inch tape, so it's going to fit nicely down the 1/2 inch tab. So I'm just going to run it along there. I've also got my hot glue gun on because I'm going to use that to attach like the base parts. So I've got my 1/2 inch. If I just bring my 1/2 inch tab over there, bring all those in, and then just bring over those 4, you'll see that all hides in there. Like so. Now we've got that shape. So I'm now going to use my hot glue to stick these pieces down, but you might want to use just your double-sided tape, but it should all come together quite nicely. So just, I'm going to use the one where the join is, that's going to go towards the back. So I'm going to have that as the first one that I lay down. Then I'm going to lay the sides over the top. So a little bit of hot glue there, and just bring that one over first. And then I'm going to pop some glue on this one. Bring the next one over. It might warm up the glue that's just set below, so you might just have to hold them all together if you're using hot glue. And then the last one. And just push down all that glue as well. It's all going to get hidden if there's anything there, and you're not going to see in there if you put tissue paper or whatever, but that is the top of our trophy. Then with the base, so you can see this is mine already done, so I'm going to show you how you can get to that bit. So first of all, I think it might be easiest if we remove these squares here. So you'll have your 1/2 inch tab at the end, and then you'll have all these squares along the top. So flip it around, and you've got your little 1/2 inch piece in that section there. I'm going to remove all of that. It's just the same really as what we've done with the bottom of that one, except the triangle pieces are a little bit different. And then you just want to remove the kind of more rectangular parts with the main score line running through. You want to remove that completely so that you're just left with those 1 by 1 inch squares. So if you just focus on those squares and just remove everything else, then it should be easier to follow. Like so. Okay, so we've got something like that. You'll see on this one here, I've now added the triangle pieces from the bottom of each of the squares to the corner of the rectangular piece below. So there's my rectangular section here. I'm just going to connect from the bottom corner there to the bottom corner of the square. So again, just use your ruler and just score. Make sure you've got a soft surface. This is the self-healing mat, so it's perfect for scoring and for cutting and things like that. So just work your way along. And now these ones you're going to fold so that you've got a mounting fold, because they're all going to go inside. But you'll see then that brings that around, and then those will stick over the top, and then this piece that we're going to pop in the middle, and then that will stick on top of that. So again, just do that on all of these, like so. And then on the end here, you've got the 1/2 inch tab. You'll have a long rectangle, 1 inch, and then another 1 inch. You can remove the top 1 inch, keep the middle one, and then remove that bottom long one. And then just cut a little wedge on the sides there, so you've got that tab that's going to connect the sides. And then all you've got to do is just cut up these ones here to the first score line. Okay, so that's now where I am with this piece, so I can carry on now and put this one together. So I'm going to use my quick grab glue on my tab here, like so, and then just fold that one over and then fold the other end, and you'll see that will all line up. Just make sure the score lines all line up. We'll do the base actually. So where I've got my join, that's going to be at the back, so it's the back left corner here. So I'm going to stick the back one down first of all, and I'm going to use the construction glue now. Now also what you might want to do is fill this with maybe a little bit of sand, or you might have a couple of pebbles. If you want to add a little bit of weight to the base for it to stand up. I mean, it's going to stand up without it, but you know, if you want this to become more of a decorative piece, maybe it's going to be displayed for a while, you might just want to put a little bit of sand in. But you can see there, I've just done the back one, the two sides, and then I'm finishing with the one that's going to be on the front. So you've just got that nice finish there. And then again, just use your ruler or anything. It's quite easy to get in there just to spread all that glue out. But once that all dries, that's going to become nice and secure. But it's easy now to just fill that with, you know, like I said, something to weight it down a bit. Then you want to push all of these triangles in. Obviously those ones aren't joined, so just make sure they're both folded inwards. And again, that one. And then you'll see it will all come together, and it's all going to go on top of each other like that. So again, I'm going to use my hot glue. So I want the front one to go down last, so I'm going to start with the back one. I'm going to add my hot glue. I might use my tweezers to just help pull that in and bring that one over. And then you can use your tweezers then actually to pinch that hot glue together. You want this join to be nice, you know, quite tight, close together there, like so. And then again, some more glue. Just fold that one in. It gets a bit easier once that first one's gone down. It's quite easy then to lay that one down. Like I said, it might all start to move because it's reheating the glue below. And then just finish with some glue on the top there, and then that one can go down. Okay, so now we've got this solid base piece. I've got a little bit of glue there. If you ever get any glue like that, just use, if you've got your little glue erasers here, these are great for just taking off, you know, even the hot glue. Make sure it's dry. See, it just takes that all off. Okay, so now we've got that piece. So we should have, so you could just stick that one directly onto there. That still looks like a trophy. Trophies come in all shapes and sizes, so that does look really nice. But I do want to add this piece, which I've already done this one. So if I should just show you actually, because you might just want to fast forward and not add that one in. But you can see by adding that piece, it just gives it more of a trophy kind of feel. So that's using this piece here. So just fold and burnish all of the score lines, and then you've got your 1/2 inch tab on the right hand side. So you just want to cut away the two kind of 1/2 inch sections there. And we just want to make that tab. So just again, take a little wedge off there, and then you want to cut up all of these score lines to the first score line, and then again like so. Then add your glue to the tab, fold one over, and then fold the other one over so they all line up. And then you're just going to fold these all in again. I'll just push that up. Use hot glue or liquid glue, double-sided tape, it's up to you, and just fold each one over. It doesn't really matter what order you kind of do these ones. Again, I would just have the join at the back and then fold the sides in like so. So I'd have that facing the front, and then just do the same with that end, so you just got that solid piece, and then you'll have this. So I've used double-sided tape at each end, but I'm also now going to use hot glue on top. This just gives it a little bit of grip on the surface. So let's do this one first. Again, it's going to slowly melt a little bit of the layers underneath, so just make sure that you hold that all there until you're happy that it's, you know, the glue's set. And then again, just a little blob in the middle. Make sure I've got my join at the back, and just sit that one. There we go. So you can see it stands up nicely, and once your treats are in there, that's obviously going to weigh that all down as well. That could also become like a champagne glass or something if you wanted to. I think that'd look quite good. Right, now the handles. So to be honest, these are going to be all different for everybody. So I just drew this kind of shape. So I'm going to give you the rough measurements. So this side here, this is 2.5, and then it's, I'd say 2.5 by 2.5, and then these, the width of it is like 1/2 inch all the way around. But you can have it as ornate as you want. You might want to see if there's any kind of clip art handles that you could then print off and have as your template. But you could also cut yourself a square and then cut a smaller square within it, and then you've got that border. Cut the square in half and you've got 2 handles. So there's a few ways to do this, but you want to draw that, and then you need to add score lines, because you can see I've stuck 2 back to back, because that is how I'm going to stick on my handles with the sides there. Now you could cut slots into here and then feed it through. I mean, I might do that. We'll see if I'm that brave. But you want to do that and then cut it out. So I'll do that now with this one. So then all I need to do is lie it back over this one, and then I can just fold where I folded on these, so I know it's all looking the same, like so. Now I need this to be the reverse of this one, so I'm going to sit it over the top so that I've got the gold then on the opposite side, and then just draw around. And then again I can just sit that one over that one and then just fold across. I think it's about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, it's entirely up to you, and then I can just fold it back in the way, the direction it needs to be. And then I'm going to use just a little of the construction glue and then just stick them together. And if you've got one that's a little bit of a different shape, you can just trim it. I can see a little bit of the white there, so I can just go around that in a minute. But as long as you've got, you know, that they look kind of the same. In fact, you could cut a couple of hearts if you've got some nested heart dies. You could, you know, have one size and then maybe drop down 2 or 3 nested dies smaller, and then sit that in the middle, run it through, so then you've got the frame, and then cut it in half, and then, you know, just score your little tabs there on the edge. There's so many ways to do the handles, and if you want to freehand draw, just have a little look at, you know, some images. Okay, so now I need to decide if I just want to stick these directly on, or if I want to risk cutting and popping them through. It will look neater if I slide that through and have them on the inside, because then it would be filled with treats. So let's try it. So that's the front, so it's going to be on this side here. You need to decide how high. I mean, you could have it quite high up there, you could have it lower down. There's no right or wrong, you know, trophies are all very different. But I'm just going to sit that in there, and I'm going to mark with the pokey tool the bottom and then the top of that piece. Oh, it will pierce right through. So that's that one. And then I need to make sure, I just show you the process of doing it, because it's pointless giving you a measurement because everybody's is going to be slightly different. But as long as you get it straight, so you don't have to do this, you can just stick them, you know, straight on, but just roughly. There we go. And then I'm going to use my craft knife just to make sure it's nice and sharp, and then it should quite easily just cut through like so. And then again, just carefully work it up. You don't want to kind of, you know, go slow with it. And then I should just be able to slide that one in. In fact, probably have to do the bottom one first. Yeah, do the bottom one first, and then you can get those in. And then when you open up the inside, it's going to straighten it all out, like so, once they're glued down. So that does look much neater. Okay, so what I would then suggest actually is I'm going to use some red tape, because that's going to hold that down nicely. So I'm just going to pop some red tape on the tops of all those pieces, like so. I'm going to take the backing off and then slide it through, so it might be a little bit tricky, but I think it's going to be easier to take the backing off now than trying to take it off when it's inside. So again, do the bottom one first. I'll just show you this one fully. Yeah, you can push it through fine, and then I'll just do the next one. And then it's easier now to push those back. It's not actually that hard to do, it's just having a bit of patience and don't rush the cutting there. So what I will do to make sure I get them on the same side, the same height, is just measure here. So 7/8 of an inch is where I've come down there. So I'm just going to lay the ruler there and then just put a little hole. That's 7/8, and now I can just attach that one up to that dot and then just do the same. Okay, so they're all stuck down. Then I've got these strips here, which are to cover all of these sections here. Now I guess I should have stuck that down before I done that, but I think it's fine. Or what I could do is every other actually, and then it looks okay. I mean, this is optional. Yeah, I might do those ones because I'm going to have the rosette there anyway, and then the two on the back. So these ones here are 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4, and you'll want, well, you either want 8 or 4 if you're going to do it like me. So I'm going to stick those down. Okay, I've then got these strips which I'm going to pop up on some foam, and it was just to kind of cover the top, so you had like a little lip. I just thought it looked quite nice. And then I've got my rosette, and then I've got my sentiment there that says simply the best, and then I've got more to go on there as well. So I'm just trying to show you it all together and just bits that you can add. So I haven't put score lines into this because I think it's easier to just pinch it around the shape rather than get the score lines in place. So I'm going to add, because I think it looks nice lifted on, some foam around the top, so I think it looks nice having this bit lifted. So just a thin strip, as long as it can be hidden behind that piece. I'll give you the measurement in a second. You want it as long as you can really, and then snip it. I think this was just scraps. It's 1/2 inch. I would do by 9 because you want it to go all the way around and join at the back, but I think mine's just a little bit short, but you're not really going to see it. So I'm just going to make sure I've got an even amount there, and then just stick it, and then just kind of wrap it around. Once you've stuck 2 down, you can kind of fold and like pinch, and then you get that perfect like score line. It's just easier doing it that way than trying to add them. I'll stick them all first, and then I can just go around and pinch them all in a minute. Oh no, it does meet, it just joins, literally. Wow. So just over 8 will be perfect, but I would just go a bit longer, and then you can just trim it, and then I can just pinch all of that together. Okay, and you've got that nice little detail there. To make this, it's just one strip of 1 inch by 11, whatever the longest you can get, and then score it every 1/4 of an inch all the way along. Concertina fold, attach the 2 ends, and then you just squeeze it all, like kind of fold it all in, and you'll get your rosette. I have tutorials on rosettes, and I'll link them up here. I've then cut a 1 5/8 circle there, and then the one on that one. But like I said at the beginning, you know, this could be for all kinds of things. It could be a family games night, it could be for birthdays, it could be a well done, congratulations, it could be for all kinds of things, so that, you know, it's easy to personalize. So I'm just going to add some glue there, and then pop that one in the middle. And if you wanted to have maybe a few of these, like 1st, 2nd and 3rd place, I would do everything the same, but I would just reduce the height of this main section, you know, by maybe like 1 inch, and then 2 inches on the next one, so that just the height of them are different. I think, yeah, that looks quite good. And then I've got some more pieces. So again, these are optional. I'm not going to need all of these now. I've got the flag tails, so I was going to pop them underneath, but I don't think, I was a bit unsure with that anyway, so I'm going to leave that. So I've just got these ones here. Oh no, I did want these are for here, I think, although I'm going to trim those down. So I've got 4 pieces of 3/4 of an inch squared, and they're going to go on these 4, and then I will trim these ones down. You'll then want, if you want to decorate the 4 sides here, you'll want 4 pieces of 3/4 by 1.5. The sentiment here, I've heat embossed Simply the Best, and I'll link everything that I use in the description box below. That's 3/4 of an inch by 2.25, and that's going to go just on the front there, so it's like that metal plaque that you'd have engraved. Okay, so that's everything stuck down. I think it looks really cool. My only thing is, I do think these need to be they don't need to stick out as much. They just, I keep looking at it and think of ears. So I'm just going to just carefully prise open where I've stuck them down there. I'm going to keep all this in the video because I think it's good to see how you can change this. So there we go. Look, as soon as I bring that in, I think that looks less like ears, more like trophy handles. So that measurement now, because I think I said 2.5 by 2.5, but that's now 1.5 plus the 1/2 inch for the little tab. So I would do 1.5 by 2.5. Okay, so I've just done that, and then I'm just using those leftover strips and I'm just sticking them over the joins there. I'll use the ruler actually, just to tidy that all up, and it just kind of secures it all in place. So you could add those on all of the sides. I'm just going to use the 4 that I've got, and then by the time it's filled with treats, I'll probably pop a little cellophane bag, you know, filled with treats, and then kind of coming out the top. I think that would look quite nice. And there's the finished trophy. I think it looks really cool. Like I said, I think if you're doing a family games night, having these as maybe like the table favours or something would look quite cool. But I think once it's filled with treats, like I said, a little cellophane bag or something there, I think will look great. Change the colours, doesn't have to be gold. Change the size or the height, and you could have it then 1st, 2nd and 3rd. It could be good luck, congratulations. And like I said, you could have this as maybe like a wine glass, have it shorter, don't have this piece, just have that connected to here. Lots of ways to change this up and make it work, you know, for what you need, but I prefer the handles now like that as well. So thank you for watching. As always, I will link the product that I've used in the description box below. If you've enjoyed this tutorial and you'd like to see more masculine makes, Father's Day makes, things like that, then check out the playlist. If you've enjoyed today and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any future tutorials. And popping up now will be some more tutorials that you might want to watch next. I'll put some more Father's Day masculine kind of themed ones up there, which might inspire you. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.